to hit him, knew he could actually take him down in time. And obviously the Prey vs. Reckless will be the last one today, because now we start going into all the quarterfinals. And it gets even funnier when we start getting, not rematches, but the second time players get to play on this map. Okay. Will they play the same champion? Have they learned anything? Do they take different runes? Do they ban different things? Will FLICKR play Nasus for 100 CS again?
Will North America get knocked out by playing Jace once more?
I'm going to say no on that one.
Okay.
But to be fair, Bjergsen is a Jace player.
Played Jace in the 1v1s last year.
Maybe. I think he's going to go back to Lucian.
I could see it. I am hoping. I think there's some potential here for, there's enough mutual respect that maybe we get a mirror matchup from FLICKR and Bjergsen as well.
Not Nasus versus Nasus, though.
I'm hoping for some Zed versus Zed or Zoe versus Zoe. Maybe a little Vayne versus Vayne, Lee Sin versus Lee Sin. All of those are acceptable.
I agree. We hope for some mirror matches between these two guys.
This is going to be pretty exciting, but obviously the next matchup needs no introduction. It is FLICKR and Bjergsen, two of the very best players in League of Legends. Really, FLICKR, the most famous player in League of Legends. Bjergsen, the most famous in North America, it's fair to say.
Counts for something as well.
Yeah, it does count for something.
I like how
you got to take what you can
find a way right there to put them next to each other. I love that. You just add NA at the end for Bjergsen, and then it fits in.
I mean, just like for you, you're the best Danish caster named Martin.
In League of Legends.
In League of Legends.
There we go. There's probably some other guy somewhere.
Yeah, probably somewhere.
Same name.
You don't want to get too general.
No, don't want to get an ego here. So we just focus on the League of Legends part. Both players setting up at the moment. And again, mirror match? I'm not sure.
I don't know. But earlier, we did get to talk to Bjergsen. He shared a little bit of his insight on the 1v1 prep.
A big part is the preparation, actually, of the games, understanding what champions are strong, what champions beat which champions, what champions do you want to ban. I think that was a big part of why I won the first year. And then I got destroyed in the second year in the first round because I thought Jace was really strong. Then I came up against Clearlove and he just destroyed me on Varus. So I think preparation is a big part.
Thought Jace was strong, was not.
It was not strong.
Happens to NA.
Yeah, because when you just pick an 80 carry against the Jace, then you just outpoke him because you can just hide behind minions and he can't really hit you.
That's true. That is quite a viable strategy there. But unfortunately, FLICKR is having a couple of mouse issues, so we are replacing his PC. That will take a couple minutes for us to get all set up. He needs to make sure all the settings are good.
Of course. And the NA referees are currently debating if FLICKR should just play without a mouse in this 1v1, if that is more fair for everyone.
I think it probably would be.
It would definitely be more fair, I feel like.
I don't know if FLICKR cares about fair, though.
I don't know. Maybe like give him a touchpad or something. And then
maybe a little. He has to play on an iPad.
Hey, cool. Could probably still win. We will see. But
he could certainly beat us.
We basically, I don't know. My one-on-one Heimerdinger is pretty scary.
Yeah.
I just want to highlight that.
I've been hearing some things.
The problem is the jungler kills me.
Things,
the jungler kills me. Yeah, but there's no jungler in 1v1s. Therefore, I will be fine.
How do you ever lose lane if it's not the jungler's fault?
There you go. I don't think I've ever lost lane without a jungler killing me.
Yeah, me either. The only problem is who do you blame if you then do lose the 1v1?
I normally blame Vedius.
Vedius?
Distracts me.
Yeah.
Constantly thinking about him. Can't focus on the game.
There you go. Vedius on the mind. I'll won't delve any further on that one.
FLICKR right now, what's on his mind is obviously how annoying the mouse is and how he needs to fix it. But apart from that, again, Nasus yesterday from him. Bjergsen played Syndra. Quite like the Syndra as well. I think it is actually fine in these 1v1s.
I think it worked out quite well. I will say that I think some of the 80 carries have the potential to actually outlast Syndra if you are itemizing a bit more defensively, I think. If you do pick up something like a Null, a Talisman, get a little bit of MR, itemize defensively, grab more defensive runes. If the Syndra cannot burst you out, I do think there's a potential to actually outlast this mana pool, lifesteal back up, and start up things like that. And we also have to talk about, for FLICKR, his history in 1v1s, right? He agreed to the Anivia mirror matchup with Froggen 2 years ago, lost that. He agrees to the Yasuo 1v1 against Mata, lost that. So he's been a guy who likes to have a lot of fun with the 1v1s, not necessarily as concerned about winning it, more of putting on a good show. But the Nasus seemed like a very try-hard pick for the first round. Like, that is not a stylish pick from FLICKR. He won in a stylish way. But now I'm kind of left wondering, is he going try-hard for the 1v1 this year?
I mean, the only thing I will say is I just saw on his screen he was practicing, and it was Syndra he used. So if he wants to take that Syndra here and actually use that to beat Bjergsen, even though it's a mirror match, it can still be very try-hard in the way you're playing it, obviously.
Can you pick up each other's balls from Syndra versus Syndra? Because on Draven versus Draven, you can catch each other's axes.
Ooh. Potentially. I don't actually know.
I don't know how that works either.
I don't play a lot of Syndra versus Syndra.
Yeah, I have not.
Personally.
I have not done it much myself either.
But again, could be something. Obviously, with the Nivea versus Nivea one, I remember how he actually did outplay Froggen for most of it. Got Froggen in his passive twice, I believe, but then Froggen just won on an all-in at the end, where, if I remember correctly, FLICKR was actually winning on CS, but he took the all-in anyway, lost it, and sadly for him, he got knocked out.
Froggen did pretty well with the mind games, I would say.
A lot of mind games.
When he played in the 1v1, he got
Forced some
Asmo to
remakes.
agree to no masteries, no runes, zillion last hit to 100 1v1. Then he got FLICKR to agree somehow to the Anivia 1v1. And then I believe it was double if he played against Next, where there was those remakes.
Yeah, and
with the snowball.
he got knocked out, if I remember correctly. Because double it was in the final against Bjergsen.
Yeah, I think
Bjergsen
so.
won and was the champion that year, and obviously last year Uzi was the champion. This one here. Two of the favorites, I will say, in this 1v1 tournament, but then we also just have to look at the other, matchups we're going to have here in the quarterfinals. Uzi is there, the big favorite to take the whole thing. And Prey as well is a guy we have to also look at, because again, these 80 carries tend to be very strong in 1v1s.
Yeah, and whoever wins between FLICKR and Bjergsen would be them playing the winner of Jisoo and Mako. Jisoo obviously taking down Power of Evil yesterday, and Mako beating Frozen. And then Uzi is going to be going up against BRTT on the other side of the bracket, and they will be playing the winner of Prey versus Reckless, as has just now been decided. So definitely some very big names in the bracket left, and a lot of 80 carries still kind of hanging around here. Some mid laners here as well.
But again, also a lot of 80 carries chosen, of course, to represent the teams, but we will get into the pick and ban phase between the guys. And I mean, already from the bans, you might be able to see if it is going to be a mirror matchup, if they're just spelling out something. They got 6 letters at the moment to use.
Yeah, I'm pretty interested. So far, leaving it down to the last second. So it is going to be Zoe. So we already know we're not getting a Zoe versus Zoe matchup.
I like the Nasus ban right there from Bjergsen. Don't want to see that again from FLICKR. Oh, yeah, he knows.
That is a fan service ban right there. No one wants to see this.
No one wants to see the 100 CS Nasus. No. We
Get that out of there.
We want to see fights. Azir has been banned a lot in this 1v1 tournament as well.
See, what we really need to do is a quick rule adjustment and increase the number of bans so that there's only like Zed, Yasuo, and Vayne.
We have to wait through the entire pick and ban phase, and we're just like, all right.
On the 132nd ban, Zergod, interesting. Very, very nice.
I like the Lucian ban as well, even though I actually would love to see Lucian being played in this. He's just so strong in the 1v1. Talia being hovered. Okay, there's the Syndra FLICKR.
Are we going to get a mirror here?
He's obviously not going to take Talia in this 1v1.
Bjergsen did take Syndra yesterday, and the players are kind of laughing.
Wow,
it is the Talia. Wow. So
that's surprising.
Bjergsen talked about preparation. One thing I'm looking at with this is the amount of pushing power Talia has. If you can actually shove in your opponent, it is very hard to CS under turret. He may not be planning on actually taking a fight. If there was no flash on FLICKR, you don't actually allow him to hit his scatter of the week, you don't actually allow him to close the gap, you could just make this into a farm fest.
Okay, yeah. I mean, it makes a lot of sense what you're saying. It might be exactly what Bjergsen is thinking right now. FLICKR obviously wants to fight him and try to kill him here, Syndra 1v1.
Because I just don't see Talia as a, like, oh yeah, Talia is what I want to kill this Syndra in a 1v1. Like, you're not trying to get near the Syndra most of the time.
Well, unless you can land the knockback into some crazy burst, but once again...
You'd have to then dodge the scatter of the week and a lot of abilities, so...
This might just be a push Talia, as you highlighted. Surprising, for me at least. Definitely not one of the mid laners I expected to see.
No, not at all.
I thought, again, like we're looking at things like Syndra, even Orianna can be used. We saw that from Power of Evil. No, Talia it is.
But some of the atypical stuff has really been successful. In 1v1s, Grasp of the Undying, Caitlyn last year, and things like this. If you can actually theory craft something to really take down your opponents, it is going to be exhaust barrier for Bjergsen. The only difference being the heal, obviously, for FLICKR instead of that exhaust. And both players selecting Airy, so we'll have to wait to find out what those secondary runes will be.
I mean, we have to have Mana Flow banned in here. We can see on both guys, which is not a big surprise. Scorch, most likely as well. And then it's just all about what they want. Is it Absolute Focus in there as an option?
So FLICKR actually taking as his secondary Legend Alacrity and Last Stand. So that is actually pretty surprising. So Legend Alacrity is actually the attack speed.
Yeah.
So that's a lot about the pushing, I think. He may be trying to contest that. And extra damage when you are low HP from Last Stand, so maybe trying to pull off some sort of surprising burst. Like if you save your ultimate till you're low HP, you could get a bit of extra damage there.
Also, if you're baiting out, with your barrier, so when you're on low HP, you use the barrier to just stay alive for a little bit longer, and you deal extra damage at that time. So that's very interesting. Like the Alacrity one, typically is where you get kills and assists, and you obviously get more and more attack speed the further you go into the game, but it does give you some base attack speed at the start. That is clearly what he's valuing here to try and push this Taliyah back.
And especially the Last Stand is something that you just don't even see. Even as far as solo queue on SR, that's not something I really see people picking whatsoever. For Bjergsen, it is going to be more standard, will be the Resolve secondary tree. He's going to be playing Mirror Shell and Second Wind, so that is the flat MR as well as the regen. And it does simply look like Bjergsen is going to play the pushing game. He's going to try to win here on CS, shove in your opponent, and like it's very hard to last hit these minions properly. If they've taken any damage, they'll just die in one shot.
Yeah, so you don't want to hit that caster minion before the towers hit it, because you need to just last hit it right after. It's not like on Summoner's Rift where you gotta hit the caster minion once, then the tower shot hits, and then you last hit. FLICKR just messed that up and actually lost the CS.
The melees are also very awkward to CS because it's not like 2 hits then auto it. It is kind of like a hit and a half, so you kind of have to prep them properly to actually have them be able to be last hittable. Obviously, Syndra can be pretty good at that later on, though.
Basically, the tower 2-shots the melee minions. That just makes it very difficult to CS. So Bjergsen, once again, playing to just push all the time, and it is working for him at the moment. FLICKR looking instead for that all-in, needs to land the stun first, and then he can apply a lot of burst damage that Bjergsen will struggle against.
The other thing that's actually really big on this
hit
map
the wrong one
in particular is the fact that if you control the wave, you control the health relics. And every time you're getting a health relic, that's essentially a full potion extra of HP. So and even if Bjergsen is getting poked somewhat, the fact that he's getting both of these relics is a really big deal. And he's just going to go back to base. Once again, there's a cannon there. That's going to buy him enough time. He knows the wave will now push back towards him, but
interrupted.
Does get stopped on the back a little bit. Oh, no. It's like one of the same time things.
Actually just made it back, so important for him. FLICKR still struggling a little bit under this tower here, but this time around he got a few more minions. 23 for him to 29 from Bjergsen. And FLICKR's not gone back to base yet, which is also important to highlight.
Exactly. The fact that he hasn't gone back to base and that his opponent has a very strong push means if he cannot push up the wave before he goes back, it's going to be tough for him because he will likely have a lot of minions denied to the turret while he is away, and then the wave will be pushing back from him again. And FLICKR's getting not only low on health, but relatively low on mana here. So we'll see if he can actually pull something up. I mean, if he hits 6 before Bjergsen, there is still potential for an all-in.
This is dirty, though, from Bjergsen. Again, so much poke landing. Got that early back. He's sitting with 2 Dorns. He has boots as well.
And he's taken 3 health relics to FLICKR 0. Like, he just continuously gets them. Yes, he took a Scatter of the Week there, did get traded on, but he grabs, again, another health relic. He's pushing in FLICKR, and FLICKR's almost out of mana.
Yeah, so FLICKR is just kind of waiting to get like level 6, then he needs to go back and get full mana, and then he needs to go into this lane here and see if he can actually try and lock down Bjergsen.
The problem with that is it should be very apparent to Bjergsen.
Oh, he knows for sure.
Well, right? And when you're in a situation like that, if I'm Bjergsen, I push out this wave, I base again, I buy defensive items.
Oh, stop the recall.
You buy something like a Ruby Crystal, you buy Magic Resist. As long as you cannot get one shot, you already have enough pushing power just from a couple Doran Springs in your base damage. He's kind of outthought FLICKR a little bit here, it feels like.
All right, so we got 50 CS hit right there from Bjergsen's side. FLICKR very low, no mana. Can't really fight against the Taliyah at the moment. Just tries to last it under this turret. The minions will not really help him here because they start hitting the casters.
Is close there. Bjergsen should not be able to stop this base, but he's just looking to push, and then he should back. He's out of mana as well. So this is now FLICKR's kind of chance. He did get Sork Boots, especially now if Bjergsen buys MR, that completely nullifies it, because for the 450 gold, you get 25 MR compared to the 1,100 gold committed for these boots. Yes, it helps close the gap and whatnot, but he's going Merc Treads, and I think this is so smart from Bjergsen. It almost, to me, eliminates any chance of really being able to pull off a kill.
Well, it just makes it even harder also now with the stun not lasting as long, so there's a high chance that Bjergsen can just step away.
And to dodge the skill shots as well here.
Exactly, just dodge it in the first place. If you do get hit, it can last longer. You can then actually just disengage the fight here. FLICKR right now, though. We'll try and see if we can fight. Misses that one.
And to FLICKR's credit, he actually has kept the farm pretty close. So it is not out of the realm of possibility they could win, just on farm if he can actually push Bjergsen back.
Yeah, this is a very big wave for FLICKR right here, where he's picking up quite a lot of CS. will be able to last hit that one as well. Actually, able to really control most of the melees. Sadly for him, has to give away a single one.
Only down 3 though. He's actually done quite a remarkable job last hitting under the turret. And FLICKR just barely stepping forward. Remember though, FLICKR does have last stand, meaning he will deal more damage when he is on low health. Bjergsen likely not expecting that sort of a mastery. Could be a little bit surprised with the extra damage coming out.
FLICKR wants this one. Bjergsen's
out of mana. FLICKR could actually theoretically catch up on farm here.
Oh, he will try. Let's see if he can stop the recall as well. There we go. Stop this one. Didn't get the last one because Bjergsen just made it back in time. FLICKR, yeah, while he's a bit low on HP, does have both summoners available. Bjergsen's exhaust here. Obviously needs to be in range to use it when FLICKR is actually going for the all-in. FLICKR is much more focused on just healing himself. And staying alive, misses the stun.
Yeah, this is pretty tense. FLICKR
super scary.
Going back again. They're actually completely tied on minions now, but FLICKR does not want to just give up these waves that are coming out.
Yeah, also extra minions right here that Bjergsen can kill. FLICKR wants to try and get it under the turret to see if he can deny something, but that's where Taliyah is so good at just pushing it right back.
Yeah, and especially when you're actually moving around the territory on the map, she always is going to have more work ground to actually utilize there in that 1v1. FLICKR looking like he is trying again to go back, but Bjergsen could very easily stop this. He even has the ult to stop that, and FLICKR getting so low.
Yeah, and that's greedy by FLICKR to start recalling right there. You know, he's still in front of his turret. Very easy for Bjergsen to just stop him and deal so much damage.
Pretty crazy 1v1. FLICKR is down 4 CS already, and there's 4 additional minions here, so it's about 8 CS of an advantage, and tries to guess to stop the recall. Not going to be able to do it, but still, FLICKR is going to have to all in very quickly when he gets back. Bjergsen can base again and kind of prepare for the final push here.
Bjergsen needs 2 more waves to win this one. 91 CS what he's sitting on, goes back to base once again. FLICKR getting a bit of CDR, didn't actually even wait for full HP, just rushed back to try and catch these minions here.
But I honestly think at this point, you cannot really win on minions. Taliyah can very easily access those minions with the Qs pretty safely, unless you can completely zone him off. Like, you have a cannon wave here. This is going to push into Bjergsen. FLICKR needs to start posturing. He needs to pressure Bjergsen and not allow him access to the minions, or he simply already lost on the CS.
Well, he's trying to look for that all-in. Does actually manage to connect the stun. FLICKR
getting pretty low.
Heal used already from him. Ulti is ready.
Neither player bought potions. Like, they didn't actually come back to lane with any more potions. This is last one, therefore, Bjergsen. FLICKR has no more remaining. Does have the last stand. Can look for an all-in. Potentially could burst Bjergsen
down. With the minions.
He's got to go. Oh, he's so low. That's 100.
That was a very exciting 1v1. The Taliyah surprising pick from Bjergsen was all about pushing, pushing, pushing. While FLICKR under turret still managed to get so many of these very, very hard to get minions where the turret constantly tries to mess it up for you. And in the end, Bjergsen gets 100 CS, but FLICKR almost got the all-in.
Yeah, barely not getting the kill there. So much extra damage coming out with that ultimate. Did look like he might have been able to finish him off, but Bjergsen already had access to the minions, already had it closed out, and FLICKR would have just had to try to deny him from getting up there in the first place.
Right, and we also did see with, you know, this all-in here, FLICKR was trying to zone Bjergsen away from the wave, and then Bjergsen said, no, I don't care. You know what, I can survive the all-in. There was still, barrier was still ready.
I mean, that last orb could have taken Bjergsen down. That would have been very
I'd probably
close.
use the barrier. I'd probably just click the barrier.
Yeah, I would have been pressing the barrier, for sure.
Also still interesting with the alacrity right there from FLICKR, though, to try and help him also last hit, because it does work when you get some large minions with the CS to also get a bit more attack speed. It's not just kills and assist on champions. And definitely, again, still managed to get quite a few under that tower to keep it relatively even.
Yeah, that's by far the best CSing we've seen under turret in the 1v1. Like, not even close. People have been missing, I would say, more than half the minions pretty regularly, and FLICKR was keeping up really until he started getting forced back to base. But Bjergsen talked in the interview how 1v1, in his opinion, is more about the preparation, right? It's about outthinking your opponent. It's not necessarily about always being able to outplay them mechanically. If you can outthink them, you don't have to do that. And it seemed to me like Bjergsen just outthought his opponent. He outprepared him.
And also with bans like Delusion, you know, who can all in easier against the Taliyah, he felt probably very safe. No, of course it's blind pick, you know, lock in for him and just focus on pushing. And cool strategy. Knocks out FLICKR again.
Not bad.
He didn't get a mirror match this time, but FLICKR ends up dropping in the quarterfinal.
But not really FLICKR messing around this time. It did feel
Oh,
like
no,
it was
no.
playing
It was
for
serious.
the win, and definitely did get a little bit out-prepared there by Bjergsen, so very well played for him. But next